so after we've taken the lateral, the next view that we can take is the Nasium. The Nasium draws the angle from the lateral. So we need to have that first. So let's say that we're going to set for an S3, and that's explained in other parts of the presentation. But the patient is once again asked to sit in his or her normal posture, and what we're going to do is bring the patient in until something touches, be it the head or the shoulders first, and then the tilt of the bucky has to match the contour of the patient's back. And so what we do is we want to make sure that the head and shoulders touch at the same time. And the patient can be instructed to not lean against the bucky. That's important. So the next thing we're going to do then is once again using the central beam as represented by the string or the chain. We now know off the lateral exactly where the transverse process is. So that becomes the focus around which the tube and the bucky rotate. So on an S3, what we're going to be doing is going through the transverse process. It actually has to go through the inferior ocular margin, and it has to hit the X-ray bucky in the center. So now, close the eyes please. We're going to turn on the collimator light and match the light to the string. So now what we've got is we've got this, the two are completely in line, so that's going to give us an S3. However, it's going to project the atlas 1 inch below the ideal spot. So we're going to then rotate this down, or move the bucky down until the shadow of the horizontal crosshair is at the center of the bucky. And then at this point we can also set the head clamps so that they will go over the transverse process. But a good way to determine that is that when you have the beam on, that you can see the shadow of the head clamps right over the center. So now you know that the atlas is in the center of the bucky, that the central ray is going to hit that spot, and that your head clamps are in the same. So that's a good position. Then we do our collimation, put in the filter. Nasium still requires a filter in most cases. So now the patient is asked to open the eyes, and what we're going to do then is move the chair. First, always move the chair away from the bucky when you're moving the patient. So we're going to move the chair away, place estimating that the distance between the head clamps and the ears are about the same, and then watching for any movement to the patient's head, start bringing in the head clamps and adjusting as needed. And so as I'm bringing in the head clamps, I'm making sure that I'm not moving the head as I bring them in. And this looks good. The next thing then is I'm once again closing one eye and sighting down this line on the face mask, superimposing it over the mirror line in the back, and then seeing if that bisects the glabella squarely. And it doesn't in this case. So now we don't have to move the chair sideways. All we have to do is loosen the head clamps and rotate the chair, making sure that the patient moves as a unit. And that's the full alignment there for the Nasium. So then we remove the face mask and, all right, close the eyes again for a second. And I always recheck to make sure that I'm on the same line that I started out with, and this looks good. So then the Nasium is ready to be taken.